Elvis Presley and his vehicles. Part 5. The Pink Cadillac. On June 5, 1955, after his performance in Hope, Arkansas, Elvis and his date headed for the hotel in Texarkana. Near Fulton, the 1954 Cadillac started smoking from the rear. Elvis stopped and got out of the car. A couple of minutes later the Cadillac was burnt to the ground. Elvis was of course devastated by the loss of his beautiful Cadillac. He toured frequently at the time, so during the next couple of weeks he borrowed his parents' 1955 Ford Fairlane. On July 5 Elvis came home from a gig in Brownwood, Texas and had a few days off in Memphis. 2 days later he went down to the local Memphis Cadillac dealer, Southern Motors Incorporated, looking for a car to replace his burnt-up 1954 Cadillac. He found a brand new 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood Series 60 Special. This car eventually ended up being a legend. The 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood was the brand's top-of-the-line series. It was equipped with a 331 cubic inch, 5.4-liter, V8 engine producing 250 horsepower connected to a hydromatic drive automatic transmission. Power steering was standard equipment on all 1955 Cadillacs, while power brakes and air conditioning were optional at extra cost. The MSRP for a 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood Series 60 Special was $5,350. Air conditioning, which Elvis' car had, was a $620 option. The 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood Elvis purchased new at Southern Motors was painted Ruskin blue with Atlantic gray top. Elvis wanted the car pink, like his old 1954 Cadillac Fleetwood. When Elvis got the 1954 Cadillac painted, he opted for a custom-designed pink color, which was mixed by a local Memphis auto painter. The 1955 Cadillac, on the other hand, had to be painted real fast, so he could take it on tour within a couple of days. According to a source, Elvis just picked a pink color from a paint sheet. The color he ended up choosing was from the Studebaker-Packard Corporation. The 1955 pink color Studebaker used on their cars was named Coraltone, and in 1956 the name of the color was changed to Rosebud. There are many stories around naming the color of Elvis' 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood Elvis Rose. Maybe it came from the Studebaker Rosebud name? Elvis' Cadillac was painted that Studebaker color, but kept its roof Atlantic gray. By July 15, 1955, Elvis' Cadillac was repainted and ready to go on tour. The first trip was to Minden, Louisiana that day and then forward to Shreveport, Louisiana for the Louisiana Hair Ride the day after that. These are the first known pictures of Elvis with his 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood. They were shot in Cape Girardeau, Missouri on July 20, 1955. Elvis had a show at the Cape Arena later that evening. These photos are also from late July 1955. In these shots we can see that Elvis' 1955 Cadillac had a black roof at that time. He toured Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana and Florida during that period. September 2, 1955, on the way to the show in Texarkana that night, Scotty, driving Elvis' pink Cadillac, got into an accident while passing a pickup truck which turned suddenly in front of them. No one got hurt, but it caused about $1,200 damage to the Cadillac and delayed their arrival. October 3, 1955, Texas A&M Corps of Cadets checking out Elvis' Cadillac at College Station, Texas. Elvis had a show at the G. Rowley White Coliseum that evening. October 12, 1955, Elvis in his Cadillac outside Midland High School Auditorium in Midland, Texas. These are the last known photos of his car with a black roof. In early March of 1956 Elvis had the upholstery replaced, the body retouched and the roof painted white. On March 20, 1956 Elvis and his parents Vernon and Gladys moved into 1034 Audubon Drive in Memphis. This house was purchased with royalties from his first $1 million selling record Heartbreak Hotel. In this photo we can see a close-up on Elvis' 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood at Audubon Drive. It is now wearing 1956 Tennessee license plates. May 29, 1956, Elvis in his 1955 Cadillac at Audubon Drive in Memphis, Tennessee. These photos were shot by Alfred Wertheimer. In early July 1956, Elvis and a few of his friends went to the Mississippi Gulf Coast for a couple of weeks of relaxation. Elvis also wanted to visit his girlfriend June Juanico at her place in Biloxi. They brought both his 1954 Cadillac convertible and the new 1956 Eldorado convertible. After a few days, Elvis' parents arrived in Biloxi in the pink 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood. On this a bit blurry photo from late August 1956, we can see that Elvis' 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood has had another update. Elvis has installed adjustable spotlights to both front fenders. Two fans leaning against the hood of Elvis' 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood during the fall of 1956. The spotlights and fender-mounted rearview mirrors are clearly visible in this picture. In March 1957, Elvis purchased Graceland. In this photo we can see Vernon, Gladys and the 1955 Cadillac parked up front. Elvis with Yvonne Lime at Graceland, April 1957. Graceland was undergoing renovations when Yvonne came to Memphis to visit the Presleys over Easter weekend. These photos are shot on April 19, 1957. This photo is from the winter of 1957. The 1955 Fleetwood now carries 1957 license plates with a new number 5905. Elvis gave the car as a present to his mother Gladys in late 1956, even though she couldn't drive and never had a driving license. Late January 1958. In this famous photo most of Elvis' cars are displayed outside his mansion Graceland. Up front is the pink 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood Series 60 Special parked, behind it, the 1957 Cadillac Fleetwood Series 75 sedan, the 1958 Cadillac Series 60 Special and last in line the 1956 Continental Mark II. This photo has also been available as a postcard. At that occasion, a photo from the other side of Graceland was also shot. This photo is taken on July 28, 1959, while Elvis was stationed in Germany. The 1955 Cadillac, parked behind Graceland, now has 1959 Tennessee license plates with a new number. In those days cars in Tennessee got a new plate number each year. After his return from military service in Germany in 1960, Elvis lent the car to his Army buddy Joe Esposito for a while. In this photo from the early 1960s the Cadillac is sitting under the carport at Graceland. During the rest of the 1960s and early 1970s the 1955 Cadillac was mostly sitting under the carport. Elvis used it once in a while though to drive his step-brothers home from school. This photo is shot behind Graceland in 1976. The blue 1975 Lincoln Continental Mark IV to the right belongs to Linda Thompson, Elvis' girlfriend at the time. In February and October 1976, satellite recording trucks from RCA were brought to Graceland and parked in the backyard. These sessions produced the final two official albums of Elvis' career, From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee, 1976, and Moody Blue, 1977. Elvis allowed one of his most prized possessions to be displayed at the Tri-State exhibition at Corrigan Hall in Denver, Colorado in the spring of 1977. In the show it was marked as Elvis' first Cadillac even though it was his second. When Graceland opened for the public in the early 1980s, the Cadillac was put under the carport. It had been sitting outside for many years and had therefore fallen into serious disrepair. After the opening of Graceland other rock stars have paid Graceland a visit. In 1987 Ron Wood of the Rolling Stones posed with the 1955 Fleetwood in front of the mansion. And U2 even recorded a rock video for the song Heartland at Graceland that year. In 1989 the Elvis Presley Automobile Museum opened at Graceland. It featured over 20 vehicles once owned by the king of rock and roll. The 1955 Cadillac, which had been kept outside for many years, was now in rough shape. For the opening of the museum, Classic Car Company of Memphis have completed a frame-off restoration of the 1955 Cadillac. The car now looked pretty good. On June 30, 2006, President George W. Bush and Junichiro Koizumi, the Prime Minister of Japan, visited Graceland. Lisa Marie and Priscilla were there to show them around Graceland and the pink 1955 Cadillac was properly displayed outside the house. Junichiro is a huge Elvis fan and in 2001, he released a collection of his favorite Presley songs on CD, with his comments about each song. Elvis at the O2 in London, England. The exhibition was the largest ever retrospective to take place in Europe, and featured over 300 artifacts from the Presley family's Graceland archives. The show ran at the O2 Arena from December 12, 2014 to January 10, 2016. The 1955 Cadillac had been on permanent display at Graceland for more than 30 years, and this was the first time it had been displayed outside of Graceland since 1977. The Cadillac went on display June 17, 2015, just in time to celebrate its 60th anniversary, and arrived back at Graceland in late November. In 2017 the museum was totally overhauled and renamed Presley Motors Automobile Museum. In the old museum the showcase was dark and the 1955 Cadillac was put up against a wall. In the new museum it's nice to be able to walk around the legendary car. Although the 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood looks fantastic as is it at the museum, there are a few things I'd like Elvis Presley Enterprises to address whenever possible. The easy ones: the F in Fleetwood is missing on the trunk. 2 chrome stripes are also missing from the rear fender on the passenger side. To the more severe issues on the car. The pink color is a bit off. Elvis' Cadillac had a bit darker shade of pink originally. When restored in the late 1980s, Classic Car Company of Memphis based the pink color sprayed on the 30-year-old faded paint it had at the time. Also the roof should have been painted all white. Right now there is a pink rim of paint above the chrome of the windows. The interior is all clogged up with pink paint on trim and details that weren't that color when Elvis used the car. In the summer of 2022 the Baz Luhrmann movie Elvis hit the movie theaters, and it was a smash hit. Austin Butler made a fantastic job portraying Elvis. Baz had a replica of the pink 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood built for use in the movie. He was criticized though for getting the pink color wrong, since it didn't look like the restored 1955 at Graceland. However, neither the Graceland Cadillac nor the Baz Cadillac has the correct pink color. The correct color is somewhere between the two. Since June of 1982 Elvis' 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood 60 Special has been on display at Graceland. The pink 1955 is one of very few cars that Elvis kept throughout his lifetime. Also it's the car he owned the longest. The pink 1955 Cadillac has become one of the ultimate icons of Elvis and the 1950s, and is definitely one of the most famous cars in the world. If you want to see Elvis' old Fleetwood, go visit Presley Motors at Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. And that is it, on this subject. Thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe, share and like this video for more episodes about Elvis's cars.